A few months ago, I made a video on my channel about how Apple had rejected my app from the App Store after I submitted it. I saw a few comments on that video asking for an update, so I decided to make this video. So let's talk about it. What is the app? Well, the app is a dating app called 2Man, and the idea is to incorporate group dating into a dating app. In addition to acting like a normal dating app similar to Hinge, you can add your friends and invite them to group matches where you and your friend can match with a pair of two friends. It aims to spice up an idea that feels kind of stagnant and hasn't seen much improvement over the past few years. I decided to make this app because I've used dating apps myself, and I always thought it would be cool to be able to go on double dates with my friends, but I didn't see anything out there that was like it. But the important part is that the app was rejected from the App Store. Apple has a lot of guidelines for the App Store, which really let them crack down on spam and make sure the apps that are released on the App Store are good quality. And one of these guidelines is what actually prevented my app from being approved in the first place. The guideline in question was 5.3b design spam. Basically, that means that there's too many apps on the App Store that are pretty much just like the one you're trying to submit. In their guidelines, they list a few examples of really saturated spaces on the App Store that you should not try to submit for. And unluckily for me, a dating app was in that category. So seeing that, it was a bit discouraging after I had been working on the app for a few months, and I was really excited to try to get it on the App Store. But luckily for me, I actually was able to get my app accepted. I saw some comments saying that some of you were going through the same exact situation, so I'll kind of explain how I was able to get the App Store eventually accepted. One big thing to remember in the review process is that not all Apple reviewers think the same. Some of them will be more strict about certain guidelines. Some of them won't even acknowledge other guidelines, so you can never know who you're gonna get, and it kind of feels like a game of roulette, which is really not too fun, but there are some things you can do to make sure to help yourself. One big thing that really stopped my app from being accepted in the first place was that it was hard to review. In hindsight, it kind of makes sense, but when you're making a dating app, dating apps are supposed to have a lot of people on there because you're supposed to match people together, right? So in my case, I gave the reviewer an account so that they were able to log in, but there was nobody on the app, so they weren't really able to see any of the group dating functionality, which is really what separated my app apart from other apps out there. When they rejected me, I sent them a long, angry message, which they sent me an automated reply, so I don't think they even reviewed it. So after that first message, I actually appealed their decision. They give you some link where you're able to basically go on and tell them why they got their decision wrong. So what I did was I went on there, explained the whole situation, what the functionality was, how it was different, and then I submitted a video on top of that. Unluckily for me though, they still ended up rejecting that appeal. And at that point, that's when the video went live. The video that I posted about my app being rejected. Shortly after that, I don't know if the video had anything to do with that, I ended up getting another message from the Apple reviewers saying that they think they got the decision wrong. Someone from the appeal team reached out to me asking if I had time for a call, and then I was able to get on a call with them and actually talk about the decision. And this really nice lady, I forgot her name, but she went ahead and explained things to me and why they think they got the decision wrong. Basically, she just told me to submit another build and those problems would be solved, at least the 4.3 design spam guideline. There were a few other things in the app that I did have to fix, but other than that, the app was all good and it was approved. I don't know if anybody else has had a similar experience to this, but it was definitely very surprising to actually hop on a call with somebody from Apple and talk about that. I'll also explain a little bit of how the app is doing now, but first I wanted to respond to one of the comments I saw. It was something along the lines of, I like the idea of this app, but I would never download it because of the name, which is understandable. I can definitely see how the name can be misinterpreted. I also don't mean any offense, but if you are watching this video, you are probably not the target audience. I really don't think that programmer nerds are really the target demographic, unfortunately. But the name does play into a bigger role, which is marketing, and it's a buzz term used with my generation, Gen Z, and basically it's really easy to tap into those trends, so it kind of just makes sense. I can't imagine how much harder marketing would be without the name. Now, as for how the app is doing now, well, the app has just about 270 users. It's been about 3 months since the app was approved on the App Store, so it's definitely been a slow burn, but to be fair, I have not been able to devote as much time to the app as I would like to. I haven't pushed out an update in about 2 months, and I also have not been going that hard on marketing, and the reason is much more of my focus has been going to one of my other projects, which is actually doing pretty well. It's had almost 100,000 unique users and processed just north of $250,000, but that is a story for another time.